For season 4, without giving away any spoilers, there's two storylines that really hit me in a powerful way. One was with John the Baptist, and the other was with Lazarus. And there's just so much that happens with both of them. It's really, for me, the two of the most beautiful storylines in the whole thing. Well, and then there's another storyline that just crushed me. There's a lot this season for people to look forward to.
O livro Razão está no vermelho. Eu disse pra você dificultar a vida dos seguidores de Jesus.
E sobre esta pedra edificarei a minha igreja, e as portas do inferno não poderão vencê-la.
Thank you so much for being here with me, Jonathan. It's such a huge pleasure to be talking to you after 4 seasons. I started watching the show in season 2, and it's so good to be here, especially when we see all the long way you guys have walked since season 1. Season 1 was a little bit of a struggle to finish because of the lack of resources. And now you guys are here. You've been traveling the world. You were in Mexico, right? So please tell me, how is it for you to see all of this path you guys have walked since season 1, all of those struggle, and now you guys have not only more resources, but a lot of fans around the world.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of the very extremely passionate Brazilian welcoming party. It's been awesome. It's been awesome to be here. The Brazilian fans are some of the most passionate we've encountered, and so we're just really just delighted to get to bring the show here to theaters, and to kind of see it go from, the little train that could, we would say, that where we just had 4 episodes in the beginning, and now to be, premiering the 4th season of a planned 7. It's just been a bit of a dream come true for all of us. We've been doing this now for 6 years for the 4 seasons, and it's been an extraordinary journey.
And what was the impact that portraying Jesus has brought to your personal life?
It's deepened my own faith life, deepened my own walk with Christ, and it's made me feel closer to Him and want to get to know Him better, and hopefully be more like Him in my personal life, and that can be a challenge, but it's one worth striving for.
And the show has become a TV landmark in the history of TV, and I don't know if you know that, but it's also in IMDb's most rated TV shows of all times.
Oh, wow.
Yes, with the likes of Game of Thrones, Succession, and other amazing TV shows. How does it feel for you to know that The Chosen has become such a cultural movement around the world?
I think for me, the mark of the success of the show is in the experience of the fans that have seen it. I think accolades and statistics and awards can be great, but I think when you hear about how it's changed, how people's encounters with the show and encounters with their faith or encounters with God have come through the show or have come as a result of the show, and changed their lives in very substantial ways, for us, like, that is the most meaningful feedback that we can get. For somebody to say, like, I didn't really know who Jesus was, to saying I want to know more about Him, and I want to go, I want to try out a church, or I want to live my life differently, or even in a couple of cases, people that were considering taking their own lives, that were in a deep state of despair, and watched the show and were brought to a place after watching it feeling loved by God, and that their life was worth something, and that they weren't going to take their life anymore. You can't put a price on that.
Yes, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to see how a TV show can change people's lives, right? Like in a very personal way, personal and meaningful way. And did you expect that when you decided to sign your name for this project?
No, I mean, in your wildest dreams, you don't expect the things that we've heard from fans and viewers of the show. You hope for a modicum of success, a bit of success that allows you the opportunity to feed yourself and pay your rent, and hopefully have an artistic experience and have a creative journey. maybe for a season or two, if you're lucky, or 3, but then to know that the plans are in place to allow us to do this for 7 seasons, it's an actor's dream. It's a very, very unique thing. I think it's something only God could have orchestrated. When you see where we started and how far we've come and what the reach has been and what the impact has been on people, it defies logic.
I completely agree with you. It's out of this world. It's surreal, right? To see how 100%. The show started and now how it is. And as you mentioned, the show is planned to have 7 seasons. So we are getting closer to the end. I'm not ready. This is a very like a very difficult subject to me. I'm not ready for that. I don't know how to deal with that. I can imagine. Please tell me, how does it feel to be like getting closer to Jesus' crucial moment, which is the crucifixion and also the resurrection? I can imagine that, spiritually speaking, it must be also a very powerful and profound moment for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just read the scripts for season 5, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're getting there, and it's going to be, I think, difficult for all of us when we actually get to that point where we're like, this is the last season, and who knows what the plan is after that, and where we'll all go and what we'll do. And that's why I try not to think too far ahead. I think it's important for every season to be present in those scenes, in those moments, and maybe if there's an artistic justification for emotionally referencing the future or mentally thinking about the future as it will serve the current scene, then I think yes. But in the meantime, I'm like, let tomorrow worry about itself. Let's just focus on what's here in front of us.
Step by step, right?
That's right.
I'm a little bit anxious, so that's why I'm like, okay, I don't know how to deal with that.
Be not afraid.
Amen. And season 4's motto is Rise Up, which I think is extremely strong, and it tells us a lot about what we can expect in season 4. What do you really want the audiences to watch? What do you think, like, I can't wait for the audiences to watch this and that in season 4?
I think there's a number of storylines that are so important to the development of the series, and they involve seminal characters like John the Baptist, like Lazarus. Rise Up has so many contextual meanings, just like The Chosen can refer to a lot of different things. It can refer to Jesus, it can refer to the disciples, it can refer to those of us who follow Christ. There's a lot of tensions that arise this season, in season 4, and we see Jesus trying to manage expectations, manage the tensions, not just with himself and the religious authorities, but also amongst his own followers, amongst his disciples. So there's really a lot there that he's trying to just keep a handle on and just oversee, and it's not always easy for Jesus. We see elements of his humanity, his struggle to get through to his disciples, and which is all, it's scriptural. Like he's like, I've told you this, I've been telling you this is what's going to happen, and you haven't been listening, you haven't heard me. And so you have to figure that those moments of human frustration certainly entered into his life, and we get to see a bit more of that this season.
And it's so interesting to see that unfolding in front of our eyes, because I'm also a Christian and I've been studying the Bible since I was 16. So now that we have the whole revelation, it's easy for us to read the Bible, especially the New Testament, and understand what Jesus is saying. And we also feel like, I don't understand why this and that disciple is feeling that way about what Jesus is saying. But when we talk about when they were living that experience, they were going through that, it's a whole other perception, right?
Yeah. A lot of the times, when we read the Bible, we're not thinking of ourselves in their place. And when you start to think about the practicality of the situations that they would have gone through and that they went through, and you ask yourself, well, what would I have done if this was happening, if Jesus was saying this, but there are the Pharisees over here? How would I react? And that's how our writers, our brilliant writers, that's how they approach every season using scriptures. It's like, well, how would this have actually looked like? What would this have actually looked like? How would this have actually played out? And what would they do based on human nature? What we all know about human nature is to be true. Like, how would I react under pressure in this situation? If I was, if I really needed something, but I know, Jesus needs something else from me, like what would I choose, So I think we just kind of put those questions in people's minds to kind of ask themselves, like, well, what would you do in that situation? And what did they do, and how did Jesus handle it?
That's part of the beauty of The Chosen, right? The way that we can connect with the characters through the fact that we are seeing the historical events unfolding right in front of our eyes. And the show is going back to the theaters, as it did in season 3. And why do you think it's so important to watch those 2 episodes in the biggest screen possible?
Because I think when you're in a room surrounded by fellow fans and people that love the series and know the series, you then key into the collective response. You key into the world more acutely and more specifically and connectively with your fellow audience members. And the production quality is at such a high level now. The cameras we shot this season, I think, were even better than in season 3. So everything is crisper and sharper and more beautiful, and the sound is better because we had more money this season to do I think a 5.1 surround sound mix, which I don't think we had previously. So all of those things essentially just pull the viewer into the immersive experience of the story. And when you're immersed in the story, you forget about the outside world and you can just focus on what exactly is happening. And you can't really do that on a little screen. You can't do that as much at home. You don't have the distractions of the home viewing situation. So for me, it's the ideal way to experience the story to the greatest extent possible. And then, when we have to resort to the smaller screens, then we do, or the television, then we do. But if you can see it on the movie screen, by far, run to the theater, don't walk, because it's such a more fulfilling experience as a moviegoer.
I completely agree with you. I'm all for movies. And wrapping up our interview, what was the most powerful moment as playing Jesus for you? Like a particular scene, a sort of event that you were playing on screen?
Oh man, every season has 1 or 2 scenes that just kind of hit me. For season 4, without giving away any spoilers, there's 2 storylines that really hit me in a powerful way. One was with John the Baptist, and the other was with Lazarus. And there's just so much that happens with both of them. It's really, for me, the 2 of the most beautiful storylines in the whole thing. Well, and then there's another storyline that just crushed me. There's a lot this season for people to look forward to.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm sure I will. Thank you so much, Jonathan. It was a huge pleasure to be able to talk to you. And once again, congratulations on The Chosen.
Obrigado.
De nada.
Parece o início de alguma coisa. Guerra, talvez.
Acho que você não está mais se contendo.
Não estou.
The Chosen, Os Escolhidos, 4ª temporada. Ingressos já à venda.